Album Review, the podcast where four totally unqualified guys review a different album every week in the hope of broadening our knowledge of music. However, we are easily swayed off topic and have no real idea what we are talking about. Today's album is 21 Pilots, Scaled and Icy.
I can't remember who picked this.
Aidan picked it.
Aidan picked this.
Of course I picked it. 21 Pilots are my favourite band.
Obviously. You rave about them all the time, to be fair. It makes sense.
If 9/11 planes would have had 21 pilots, they would have survived.
Damn. You've just been waiting to say that.
Oh yeah, he's been holding that one all week. He's been holding that one all week. I'm ready to unleash this sucker punch, baby.
This is gonna slay him.
Feels bad. I've also got a joke about the amount of pilots as well, but we'll just...
I literally did just think of that in that moment of saying 21 Pilots. I don't think I've said the word 21 Pilots out loud until just then.
It's a stupid name.
Are pilots classed as military, though, really?
No.
Yeah, because they're called captain.
No.
What's that got to do with pilot?
Pilots are captains.
Yeah, but you can pilot a ship.
Yeah, they're also captain.
Also, pilots.
In a way, when I drive my car, I'm piloting my car.
And they've got all the badges and stuff, haven't they?
What do you...
So they're
right,
pilots.
so hold
Right,
up.
what are you trying to say here, Joe?
I'm trying to say that pilots are all in the military.
If you fly
No.
a plane and you, I guess, drive a boat or drive a car, ride a bike, what are you a submarine?
Dive.
Well, you sail a boat.
Yeah, but,
What?
you know...
Oh, that's interesting. What do you a submarine?
Surely it's just drive.
No, because you don't
What
drive a
do
boat.
you a sub?
You still
But
sail.
you do
submarine.
if it's got an...
What do you call a submarine driver? It's called a helmsman.
Oh.
Yeah,
No, but you don't helmsman a submarine, do you? Like I'm gonna go.
a helmsman.
You don't. I'm gonna go helmsman a submarine, do you?
So
Just take it for a quick
that is-
helmsman.
That is literally what he's just saying, Joe.
No, it's not.
helmsman.
That's what the person is called.
Yeah, it's not.
He is
like...
the helmsman that you drive a submarine. I'm saying drive. That's
not.
ominous.
Oh, you're still
thunder.
saying
I
what
think
do you a
sail.
submarine?
I'm saying drive.
No, because you don't drive a boat.
Joe, shut up.
Do you drive or sail a
Why would you-
submarine?
why would
You're not
you
gonna
sail a submarine?
You can't sail a submarine.
Well, what is it, Joe? Before you carry on talking.
I don't know.
shit.
I'm thinking.
Well, you don't know. We'll throw a
Well,
suggestion.
you don't know
out.
either, do you?
I just said drive. I reckon it's drive. You drive a submarine.
I reckon you dive.
I reckon you say. Well, fuck off, Joe.
What?
Go on.
you reckon you sail?
I reckon it's sail. Yeah.
I think it's dive.
Come on, Denver. Just put us out of our misery.
Okay, I'm reading because there's not. I don't think there's like a defined answer.
Oh.
What do Okay, UK business forums. They've got to know.
Sail a
UK,
submarine.
well-known benefactors of submarines. The UK.
Celeb insider.
Well, see, there's no like official pages. It's all people arguing about it on forums.
No, there's got to be a thing.
This
be
has
a
got to
thing.
be a defining thing.
You fly a submarine.
You
No,
fly
you
it,
fucking
dude.
don't.
I
That's what
guess,
people are saying.
you know, you glide through the water. You know, you do fly a hang glider. I suppose it is that kind of thing.
You fly or sail. People
Or
are saying.
sail, will you win?
People say it's flying when you like submerge, but when you're just like on the top, you're sailing.
So the moment that it goes
It's the
underwater.
moment that it dives, it's flying.
So our ship in Sea of Thieves, the moment that started sinking, it
We were
was
flying.
flying.
It's like the upside down logic.
Oh yeah, totally. Will, hats off to you for being so intelligent. Joe, better luck next time, mate.
What? I was quite.
It's only like a plane, right? If a plane is what they call taxiing on the runway, surely the plane isn't flying then, is it? It's on the ground.
How do you
Right.
get a submarine in the water anyway?
Crane.
You put it in a big, what do you call it?
Do you push it in?
No, they actually, you know, like how on a boat they put it off a ramp.
Push it in. No help. You know they've got them water ramps for like the RAF or whatever.
Yeah.
They just tumble it. They just roll it.
You could just hear it scraping. Getting the submarine in the water, boys. What do you mean there's hull damage?
No, similarly, they just have it on like a pre-submerged thing that it's sat on, and then raise the water level around it.
Whoa.
That submarine's really cool. I think they're really cool.
I think they're terrifying. I couldn't imagine
They're not
anything
terrifying.
scarier.
It's a bad way of dying.
Oh, totally.
Oh yeah, I would hate to be in one.
There was a thing recently with some submarine people dying. It was like 31 people died in a submarine because the oxygen went. And they knew it was going to happen, so they made like a video to say goodbye to all their families.
Yes,
Surely,
I remember
why
that.
wouldn't you just raise the submarine?
Because
you
the
can't.
pressure, you can get this so
You have to come up in like
divers.
steps.
Divers get something called the bends, which basically makes you drunk underwater. But like a submarine's pressure, if you tried to raise it that quickly, it would just crush everything inside.
Whoa.
There's
didn't know
actually,
that.
I was telling Denver about this. There's a really famous incident about some it's called like the dolphin something incident, where like there's a job where you go down in these weird little tubs. Like not submarines, literally tubs. You go down for hours on end and you like look for oil so that they can build wells on top of it and stuff. And like this job's like super lucrative, but like one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. And one time this Norwegian company was doing it. They had British divers. They didn't know if it was it was probably not intentional, but they didn't know if it was a communication error. So when these people went into this pod to have their 4-hour break or whatever, while other divers went out, there was like a miscommunication, and they tried sealing it with a hatch still open, which instantly obliterated all 3 crew members inside, killing them instantly, turning them into a fine paste.
Nice.
And amazingly, nobody had to pay out for it. Not even the company. They were just like, risk of the job. Get fucked, dude.
That's fucked. That sounds like they did that on purpose to me. They just didn't want to pay them.
Those stupid Norwegian pricks. I knew it.
They were just like, we can't afford to pay you this month, so guess you're dying.
Dirty, killing friends in the submarine. We probably have to cut all this because we haven't even spoke about 20 minutes.
No, it's good. It's only 7 minutes. We had like a 9-minute diversion the other day.
About fucking King
who's
Kong and Godzilla.
Was it Will's review or Joe's?
Sure, Zane.
Well, no, it was both because Will read from Wikipedia for 10 minutes. And
I should probably shut my window. That is so loud. Hang on. Sorry. I didn't think it was going to start thunderstorming again.
Well, it's all related, because it started from the word pilots and what is a pilot.
Oh yeah, Joe. Not all pilots are military.
It was a joke anyway, but
There's loads of water in my bed.
It was a joke. Oh.
I didn't really
Classic.
think that.
Joe will die with his jokes.
But
to
most
keep them
pilots
fun.
do have like the medals and stuff on them, don't they? Because they're military. So.
Yeah, a lot of military pilots become then airplane pilots, but you don't have to have been in the military to be a...
No.
You reckon they get PTSD flashbacks and start trying to do manoeuvres they can't? He sees one plane come up on his right and he's like, doing an aerion roll or whatever the fuck it's called, and he just kills all the passengers.
Food just goes flying from all the hostesses.
What's it called? Aileron roll or whatever. Aileron?
Barrel roll.
It is a barrel roll, but it's not. Anyway, sorry. We've gone off topic. Am I reviewing again?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Scaled and icy is mild, not spicy. Its strange variety makes it rather gene-splicey. Though the whole affair's weird, it's produced quite nicely. As a bang-of album, it'll do sufficely.
Nice.
I felt like I was watching.
I hate how much time you put into that.
I didn't. As you can tell, by the fact that I put gene-splicey in there. Not a real word. So yeah, it's fine. Like, as I said, I picked it. I'm not a big fan of 21 Pilots. Just seems silly to have that many aeronautic backgrounds in one band, but I digress. Let it be known that they're certainly unique. And what we're hearing is music, I think. So that makes me emoji.
Does anyone know why they're called 21 Pilots? Will do.
20 of them died.
I don't know.
He is the 21st
Oh, hang
pilot.
on. Let me just keep talking. I'll try and figure it out.
Oh, he's actually no. He's just sitting there trying to think, figuring it out.
Let me figure it out. Like
It's a
Royal Blood.
riddle.
Everyone's favourite band, Royal Blood.
Oh.
Yeah, I think for the most part it lacks passion that I think we all have respect for in the music that we like. Every song was unique, but I feel like it would have benefited from like maybe some feature artists or I don't know, like sex noises, like in the Guns N' Roses album.
Yeah, that always spices it up.
I tell you what, feature artist is a good shout. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I mean you wouldn't. That's why I'm the best reviewer.
Like, I'm trying to think of 21 Pilot songs, and I don't think they ever really do feature stuff.
Have they ever been featured on someone else's song?
Wasn't Heathens was someone else?
No,
Yeah,
but Heathens was on the Suicide Squad album.
Yeah, it's fucking still a great song.
But it didn't feature.
Maybe great, but it's not what we're talking about. And even then, it's not great. Fucking hell, it's so rainy. It's water outside, gents.
The thing is, when I was looking at their other albums, obviously they've got the like main big songs, haven't they? But then they did release an album a few years ago, which also like none of the songs of that album are like they're big songs, you know.
Yeah, I don't really. I'm bringing it down a level, you know, less scripted here. I didn't feel much towards this album. There wasn't much hatred. It was more like when you're like your uncle comes to dinner that you haven't seen for a few years. You don't really have a lot to talk about, and he has his job, and he always finds it weird that you say that for a hobby you roll dice and imagine a story happening.
Imagine a story.
You know, like there's a definite disconnect between what I like in music and whatever the fuck 21 Pilots are doing. It's like 1975 without the creativeness.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Bohemian Rhapsody fell head first into a bear trap.
I think
yeah.
it's an interesting album in terms of like I feel like all the songs are very unique, and yet they all seem to feel very similar.
It's kind of like the Rex Orange County thing, I think. You know, like maybe it's the singer that, like
just his voice gives it that like continuity. Because I feel like you can tell these songs are on the same album.
You reckon?
I think they all sound very similar.
You can tell it's him singing.
Have you tried listening harder, Will? It's usually
Sorry, what the fuck did Will do there?
Just went.
Sorry, are you okay?
It was what Joe said. I found out why
did
they're called
what did
21
Joe
Pilots.
say?
I can't remember now. My mind's blank. I figured out why they're called 21 Pilots as well.
Go on.
Right, are we ready?
No.
Yeah.
I was studying a play, and in that play, someone made a decision, and they sent out faulty aeroplane parts during the war, and 21 pilots died because they sent them out. Then that person who sent them out, that was the main character, he tried to justify why he sent those parts out, and he ultimately ended up committing suicide at the end of the play. It sounds bleak, but ultimately, I chose the title so that me and my bandmate would always be reminded they had to make the right decisions, even when they weren't the easiest to make. There you go.
Oh, that's a bit.
That
that's
is
a bit
really
harsh.
Deep for what it is.
That is way too pretentious.
It is a bit, isn't it?
The thing is, and the fact of the matter is, he's probably told that story a million times, and you can bet your ass the smugness. Are you cutting me off, Joe? I feel like every time he tells that story, you can tell the smugness on his face would probably get a bit bigger because he's like, you haven't heard of this play? Let me tell you why we called this. You know? Just like, probably just an awful human being. Speaking of that,
it's
Joe,
weird with
sorry.
like. I remember I've said this before about like. I don't think I've said it on an album review though. About like how many, so many. I feel like almost any like collection of words can be like combined to make either an album title or a band name.
Give us an example.
Like I feel like men working ahead.
Oh, okay, yeah, I like
Because I remember I saw like a traffic. I was at some traffic lights, and there was just a sign that said that, and I was like, that feels like that could be a band name.
Yeah, like bears behaving badly, you know.
I was going to go with taut nipple tassels.
Taut nipple tassels, yeah. Or phones forever ringing.
Phones for you.
What about whose phone is ringing? Mine.
Car
It's
phone
mine.
warehouse.
Car phone warehouse.
No one's had that yet.
Walking is just a step away from heaven.
Have you got these written down?
No, these are just...
I saw
That's
you
off
look
the
down
top.
there.
I don't know. It looked like you looked at something.
No, I literally don't have anything.
It says down here, band name Joe's a
That's
cunt.
Mayday. Oh no, that one's been taken.
All right, boys.
What are you
about this
doing,
for- what
step
about?
bro? Oh,
no,
sorry.
no, bad name. I was going to say what a
about
great band
Don-
name.
Don Loco. More like Bor Ragnarok.
I love that. That's a
nice.
great
I
band.
like that.
I was going to say my band name should be Made Redundant.
That's
That's not even a bad name. That's
a
not
good
even a bad name.
What's
what I'm
your,
saying. They're like so many just combinations.
what's your
Sounds like a
second
proper
favourite?
pop punk band, doesn't it?
Oh, second.
Or just second
Muted
favourite?
headphones.
And it's just all the
Puffy Clouds
all the music is just
3644.
silence.
Joe, your band should be called Muted Silence.
What? So you
Muted
don't have to
headphones.
listen to
Muted
it.
headphones.
So you don't have to listen to it.
I didn't say that, but
The blinding lights.
No, isn't that literally a song?
the weekend
It
song.
could be. It could be a band name.
Oh, what about this? YouTube recording Quarantine Land. Just off the dome, you know, not like I'm looking at anything.
just off the top of my head.
Also, boy, you know. Anyway,
The
we're getting
lunar
off topic.
eclipse.
Well, let me talk about the worst song.
Eternity.
Oh fuck! We haven't even. I was thinking. Oh, thanks for your review, Aidan.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome.
my God.
I'm gonna be honest. I really struggle with these because I didn't see much of a difference in a lot of them in terms of quality
Yeah.
and a lot of them. If I did like one of them, I'd like it for a completely different reason that I'd like another one.
See,
It was never the singing that brought it together for me. A lot of the time.
I disagree, right? I think there were 3 standout songs and the rest of it was meh.
Nah.
No,
I
there was
think
about.
ever
I,
really
was,
stood out, to be honest.
I would say there's about.
Shut
there's
up,
about,
Will. You're so depressive.
Yeah, honestly, Will.
Oh, God.
Negative.
I'm just saying what
attitude.
Aiden's saying.
No,
Yeah, but
no,
you're saying it
because
in a more depressive tone.
I'm saying there are about 5 songs that I'm not going to say are good, but there are 5 songs that I had to choose from. In terms
And it
of
was
what
like a random pool.
It basically was, yeah. I'll probably list off the other 2 as I do it, which is something I never do. I tend to leave that to the plebeians, for people like Will. Honourable mentions, you know.
They kind of faded away, honourable mentions.
Yeah,
didn't they?
what a baby. If you do honourable mentions, you're a bitch.
It's so
Anyway,
2019 with honourable mentions.
Anyway, honourable mentions for me were they were fucking hell, now I've got to see what I put.
Oh, what a baby.
Thank you. Honourable mentions for me would have been Redecorate
Oh, okay.
and
Solid.
Bounce Man.
Bounce Man, for fuck's sake.
What a song. Bounce
Bounce Man
Man.
was just...
I liked Bounce Man.
I liked
Really?
Bounce Man.
Really?
I was so
da,
I nearly put it in my top 3. Anyway, worst song for me was Never Take It. And yes, I get that it has one of the only instances of mixing it up in it, but I think it just kind of sucks. In terms of, like, sound.
Which one was this, Aidan?
Never take it.
Fucking find out yourself. Listen to me.
No, I was listening to Bounce Man. I wanted to at the beginning where he goes, Bounce Man.
Never Take It sounds like a Black Keys song, or
I was thinking, like, fucking, like, old Blink-182. Just, like, really weird,
What?
horrible noise.
nah, it sounds like the backing's very Kaleo or
Shit.
Black Keys. You like
It's not.
Kaleo?
That's what I'm saying. I like Kaleo. I hate that song. Why would I agree with you?
When you look at the plays on the album, you can see, like, who are the fans. Like, how many, like, sort of fans actually have listening to the whole album.
So it's like
versus-
6 million of fans.
Yeah,
You
literally
say-
like a solid 6 million of fans, and then you've got, like, people re-listening to, like, the favourites.
Are you saying Never Take It was your least favourite, Aidan?
Yes, it is. It's terrible.
What?
Controversial, but Joe's put it as his favourite.
I
Probably.
quite enjoyed that one.
Cool. Save it for your review.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if No Chances would be somebody's like least favourite. Because
Yes, because it's so.
it is, but I thought like it was weighty, so I didn't hatey, you know?
I always hated that one initially, but quite like the.
Yeah, it's super
the
grew on me.
change.
Yeah.
It was like a war chant, but then it was like a nice bit.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the song, I kind of dig the war chant.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. That was another good one. Oh, here we go. Tell you what, can we just fucking kick like Joe and Will out of album? They just bring such like negativity and arrogance, and I hate it.
Says
Stop.
you literally.
You're the most
shitted on
arrogant
bringing
one
it
here.
up. I was like,
Yes,
you're the
I'm
most.
so arrogant. I'm a piece of shit, but the point is, I'm a piece of shit worth listening to. You know?
In the you wrecked Bring Me the Horizon for no reason.
Yeah, but it was funny though, wasn't it? Come on, tell me the phone call wasn't funny.
Phone call?
Oh yeah, where it was like,
What's that? Not Rival Summers? Oh, shit.
For God's
Yeah.
sake.
I've been bamboozled. You know? Will loved it. He's lying.
I did love
Yeah.
it, but
Top 3 was very hard to pick because I feel like I say the different songs I like for different reasons and different. So I guess it depends.
Difference is better.
It depends on the mood, I think. So I put my third favorite, bit of a weird one, Choker.
oh,
Strange,
Choker.
strange buildy chorus, but with a nice sort of drop at the end. The only reason it's third for me is because of the strange talking bit right at the very end.
I know I
But
thought
I
you'd
like-
hate that.
I liked where it was going until that point, but like the actual, I thought the chorus was one of the best ones.
These are very controversial picks, Aiden, in my opinion.
Well, that's fine. You're allowed to be wrong.
It's always
and it has that like
controversial intros.
bow, bow, bow,
Yeah, it's
I
the
like
whole way through.
it's mainly the chorus for me.
I just didn't like that song because of the lyrics. Like, I thought the lyrics were a bit weird, kink shamey, you know?
Oh, you're not into king shaming.
Is it actually about chokers?
I have no idea. But I just
So you
didn't-
weren't listening to the lyrics then?
Yeah, of course I was, but I just didn't like that.
I just saw the
didn't like
title
them.
and it said choker. I thought that's sex. I don't like that.
I just don't know. I just don't
But
like the way
Joey,
it's
you
like,
say you're into choking, aren't you?
what?
Into being choked.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
said
like
that,
being
didn't you?
I
You're just
do,
like-
yeah.
you're like-
I will
I
own
remember
that.
saying
I
because you
do.
were, no, that's fine. No one's kink shaming you. It's just I remember we had a conversation and you were like, "Yeah, I love BDSM."
I don't know what that is. BDSM.
No, I don't. I've figured out that I don't.
Why don't you Google it quick, number?
Oh, Denver, you should, we should do a whole video where Denver does a BDSM test to see how BDSM Denver is.
He's just like hanging from the ceiling, like I don't know how I feel about this. Guys.
BDSM.
What do you mean
Go
you
on.
don't? If you never watched porn?
Have you never accidentally clicked on one?
BDSM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, Denver.
I don't even know what it
If you,
technically
type,
stands
if you
for.
type it in, it goes, how does BDSM benefit
You're
your
older than
health?
all of us here.
Come on, what you got?
BDSM is a variety of often erotic practices
I don't know if I'd call
or
it that.
roleplay, including bondage, discipline, dominance, and submission.
It's all very rough.
Right. I've never heard of just BDSM before. What does that
What?
actually stand for anything, though?
Well, yeah, what you just said then.
Oh, bondage, discipline, dominance, submission. Makes sense.
It was in a video where a girl gets slapped in the face, yeah. Or a ball in her mouth, or
Guessing I just don't watch those.
hanging by ropes.
You can actually do a
What
test
else is
Denver,
there?
to see
Do a
how
test.
you can to see how BDSM you are.
Right.
Oh, like an online test.
Yeah.
Should we do that at the end?
I think it's horrific. I'm not gonna lie,
What the test
Really?
is like, would you like to do this to
BDSM.
someone?
because some
Pretty much, yeah.
videos of it are just horrible. Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't
Like,
think it should be like showing
think-
the videos. To be honest, I
Well,
think it's so
are you
bad.
kink shaming?
I'm not kink shaming. I think people can do that in their own time, but like,
So some of it,
It's
like,
so
you can't,
just
you
like-
can't you can't tell it's sex. Like
it just looks like assault.
yeah.
It's so like horrific, honestly.
I saw one that was just a pretty regular video up until the point where the guy pulled out a drill and literally just started like putting it against their skin and drilling until it ripped a little bit and then stopping. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about this video anymore.
So anyway, I cleaned myself up and...
Yeah, I was going to say, kink unlocked. you ever just get that post-nut clarity where, you know, you're in the moment and suddenly you finish, you're like, oh God, what was I watching?
What have I done?
What was she doing to that dog?
What? This is horrible.
It sure is.
I wouldn't recommend.
Choker, Will.
Well, actually, I don't know.
Joker. That was so. That was Ada's third favourite.
Well, it's only my favourite on my second favourite on a Saturday.
Or is that
Thank
your
you. Saturday is my second favourite.
second favourite Saturday?
Another controversial pick.
That is not controversial.
God.
It's catchy, but it's annoyingly so. It's like annoyingly catchy, I find. That's
Do you not find that
Very
song
childish
right?
lyrics, I feel like.
It had a thing in it where
it was a bit Panic at the Disco.
no, that wasn't what I was going to say. It made me think that my speakers had disconnected because it like pauses for like a half beat, like where just everything cuts out.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't think that. I thought it could have been done better. There is a lot of songs that do that, just like everything stop and then like jump into another bit, but they literally just hard.
It was
stopped
like
it.
yeah, it was like
It was
hard
like
stop, hard
nothing.
start. And because I was all the time listening to it through all those speakers, I kept thinking they were cutting out.
This is ridiculous. I'm buying new ones.
My issue with Saturday is that, like, when the chorus hits, it doesn't feel like his voice matches the energy of like the climax. I feel like he's just talking the lyrics. It's a bit boring.
Wow, thanks, Joe. First favourite for me was Shy Away. Yeah, sorry. Most upbeat, best produced, and it speaks to me, as I too am a Shia gay. What?
Another controversial pick.
Nobody likes
Maybe
you,
you've
Joe.
just got the
So are you
controversial
fucking
pick.
stoned?
Like, I thought Shy Away was one of the worst songs on the album.
It's the most popular on the album.
It's a bit
I was
boring.
surprised at that actually because it's not in my top three.
That's fair.
Wasn't it one of the only singles?
Maybe they needed 22 pilots to actually be memorable next time.
You know that you know what they always say about the 22nd man.
22nd pilot, even.
Oh, you're handing the mantle over to Will. You ready for his 20-minute Wikipedia tangent?
Wow.
21 Parts, also known as Don
21
Loco,
pilot.
Also known as Borak.
until one of them flew a plane one time.
I think I could do this 21 hours a day. And so the name was formed.
Worst for me was No Chances.
Wow, you
He's flipped it.
No, I'm not gonna. But that was my worst favourite. Anyway,
No chances. Oh, what? But he's notorious in the Octagon, Will. That's the one line I remember from the song.
no, I don't remember that. Much like most of this album, which I didn't really remember, to be honest.
I thought
But
you'd
I
like
will-
No Chances. It reminded me of Vikings.
What?
Just
Why
because
did
it was like a
remind me-
war chanty.
Yeah, but it's like it's not like manly chanty, is it? It's
And
like,
then the other bit of it is rap. I thought, if anything, I would have said that's going to be Will's
I
favourite.
hate his fucking rapping bit. It's awful. Him rapping sounds terrible in every one of their songs that they do. He should not do that.
That's not
I don't
very
think it
nice.
sounds any better or worse than other rappers.
Yeah, I feel
Nah,
like
you're
you
wrong.
could just do whatever. It doesn't really
I
matter.
feel like his is literally just talking, whereas like decent enough rappers, like there's like different tones and stuff. You can tell they're not talking. His just sounds like it just sounds like him when he talks normally to me.
So what?
So I'm just saying that's like, I hate that when he raps in songs. I just think he sounds terrible.
Okay.
I'll give you a few facts.
Don't give us the facts.
Fuck off.
Replicating Joe. The two actually met playing youth basketball when they were younger and then remained friends through high school. Fun fact, they were also used to be a band of 4 people, but they are now just 2. What else?
There used to be 42 pilots.
They're from They're from Ohio. I can't say it.
Ohio?
I can't say it. They're from Ohio.
Do you think they look similar?
No.
Because I always think, if you said, the two brothers, I'd be like,
I'd believe it, but
Yeah.
I don't think they look similar. It's
Because I
just
often
like,
forget which one's which. Like, in terms of, like, if you just show me a picture of one of them, I'd be like, shit, is that the drummer guy or is that the singer?
I mean, I'm looking at them now in the Spotify picture, and it looks like somebody's still not got over the fact that they've got out of primary school with his pet crackhead.
They look quite different in that picture, yeah.
Yeah.
one question I want to ask: do you know, like, when albums or songs get like gold or platinum awards? What does that mean? Does that mean
It's sales.
so that's just sales?
Yeah, I think
No,
platinum.
we talked about this. They fly through the water, you idiot.
I'm pretty sure platinum isn't that like 100 or like 1,000,000 is platinum?
Well, apparently,
Because you get like platinum selling albums, don't you?
yes, their label debut, Vessel, which came out in 2013, was the second. Was the second album in history in which every track received at least a gold certification, making 21 Pilots the first band in history of music to see every song on 2 albums earn gold or platinum awards.
Wow.
Okay, so gold is 100,000. Platinum is 1,000,000.
That's quite a big
That
difference.
is a lot.
Yeah,
Like, I wouldn't say it's hard to get 100,000 sales
but
when you're as big
it
as
depends
that.
in what country. So each country has its own different level. So like
Right.
gold in Denmark is only 10,000.
Oh. What's gold in India? One whole goat.
So
They also hold a record with the Beatles and Elvis Presley. Hang on.
Yes, for their collaboration album, of course.
No. Third
What?
rock act in history to have 2 singles simultaneously chart in the top 5 of the American charts.
It's not a rock album, though, really, is it?
No, but that they're classed as a rock act apparently, which I just think is wrong.
That is wrong. Yeah.
Like, why are they classed in the
I'd
same
say
thing
that
as?
maybe like alternative indie, maybe is what.
we've said this
Yeah.
before, aren't we?
But they're a mixture
So
of
many
everything.
genres are getting meshed now. Like, I feel like you could have gone back 30, 40 years ago and everything was like clear defined. Like, that's a rock song, that's a pop song, that's this, right?
Well,
Whereas
it's-
nowadays, everyone just blends all the genres to the
In
point where
terms-
genres are almost...
In terms of like metal, right? What I would class as metal, a lot of people class like so like
It's
you know
awful,
like
yes.
you know like back in the day when Guns N' Roses were like at their prime, that was classed as metal. Like I would class that as rock now. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Now I
And it's
class-
not even hard rock now.
No. But back in the day it was classed as metal.
I'm not sure it was.
If it's true, I could kind of understand why, because the metal to a point didn't exist then. I often think of metal as just heavy music, but then with screaming in it.
But not always, not technically.
Usually if it doesn't have
feel-
screaming in it, it's metal core.
A lot of times now, it's almost like you just base bands on what bands you like, and then other bands like that band.
Yeah.
Rather
Yeah.
than like, oh, I like... Because if I said to someone, oh, I really like alternate rock, someone would play me something alternate rock, I'd be like, oh, well, that's shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, I feel like you're right. Maybe we should stop defining them as genres and just call them what they are. Music.
Music.
I wonder what he was going to say then.
Shit!
No, I like music. I just hate albums and songs.
I found this album to be incredibly average. I pretty much agreed with almost everything you said, Aiden, to be honest.
Why
I
were
feel
you
like-
being a bitch about it?
Yeah, you
because there was certain, I don't necessarily agree with, like, I don't know. There's certain things you said about songs. It's more like I agree what you said about the album as a whole rather than the individual songs, if that makes sense.
Go on.
Because I don't think there's that much to actually say about the album. It's just very average. I think everything it sounds very similar. It all follows a quite similar style. I found it very difficult to pick a top 3 because I feel like nothing ever really stood out massively. It wasn't until the last listen that where I actually really had to pick it out that I could have said any was my favourite, or like could have said, yeah, this is definitely my top 3. It wasn't until I had to literally force it, so it probably could just fucking change on another listen, to be honest. 'Cause I don't like, and even the worst, I don't think was that dissimilar to some of the others. To the best.
Tight knit group.
Everything's just. I was expecting it to be much more diverse because like, I've heard some of their stuff and it's a bit like all over the place. Whereas this, I thought everything, like you said, Denver, sounds like it's from this album. Like it's all just similar
if that's
style.
Why? Because I was reading up also why Level of Concern isn't on here.
Yeah,
And it was basically like it didn't like fit on the album. And I think having read that now, looking at it, I'll be like, I think it would really stick out
as being much better.
Well, it's being just different.
And different.
I was gonna say, you compare that song to any song on this album, and I'd just rather listen to that one song on repeat. Really,
Yeah,
same.
Nothing like I didn't love anything on this album really. I just thought it was all just it's alright. Like a couple lyrics were different. I was like, yeah, I suppose they're a bit better, but like nothing. I just didn't really particularly enjoy anything. Like I never particularly wanted to listen to the album because there's nothing to look forward to that much.
Yeah.
I also found that like I didn't really like his voice too much. It kind of grinded on me in this album, which is weird because obviously I've heard him like sing covers and on certain styles of song or acoustic stuff, and I think his voice sounds really good on them. It's just like with the songs he made for this, I feel like it just sounded really distorted and weird. And
I quite like the effect on everything.
I don't know. I found it sounded the same in every song. Like it never switched up, and it just kind of grinded, which it took it away from me ever getting into a song that much. So that's like pretty much it. Like I don't have much to say. Like at the same time, I don't think it's a bad album. I just think it never really peaked or had any massively good moments, or there's no like the lyrics were a bit meh. There was never anything noticeable in lyrics wise. Sometimes a bit cringy. Writing, which I thought, I don't know. But then I think most of their fan base, not to be offended to them, are either younger, like 10 to 15-year-olds. I think that is the majority of their fan base.
I wouldn't say that.
I think it is.
There were people that fucking loved 21 Pilots when we were in college, Will.
Like, it's like, well, alright, 10 to 20-year-olds.
I feel like everything you think is just meh is liked by 10-year-olds.
No, because they're the only band I've seen at a festival that had fucking children in the crowd. Like, loads of children. You don't remember that group in front of us? Have you ever been to a festival?
What about Billie Eilish?
And there was like 10 fucking... Billie Eilish?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's for kids.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, but a lot of Billie Eilish fans are kids because she herself was a kid till not long ago.
That's that player, but I feel like her is like more... I feel like adults listen to that. I don't know. No, the target demographic for Billie Eilish isn't really kids.
I would say it's like 14-year-olds.
I would say it is those that age.
It definitely isn't.
Come
she
on,
won't be as
I would
big
not
as
say
she
21
is if it was
Pilots
all
is
for
music
kids.
for 12-year-olds.
No,
Whereas
it's a 10
Billie
to 20
Eilish,
year
I'd almost say he is.
Is there really an age? Is there really an age thing on music?
the target
I'm 14
demographic
and this
is what I'm
is deep,
saying.
you know? What is the target demographic?
I doubt when they sit down and start writing this album, they go, right, so what
Like,
age
what
group are we
The
moving this one
10-year-olds are
about?
going to love this.
But there's never anything explicit on their albums. Like,
Fucking the Wiggles are going to drop some hot beats.
That's because
Billie
they're
Eilish has-
very Christian, aren't they? 21
Are
Pilots.
they?
Mm.
Why are they bad then? I love God.
No, but like, some of their older songs, there's that song where it's like, I wish we could turn back time. Oh, the 12-year-old's like, oh yeah, wish we could go back to the good old days of being 6.
Putting crayons up my nose.
no, I just feel like it's more. I don't know.
Back when I could punch a teacher and didn't get repercussions.
Why don't you just take that blue one out of your mouth? Don't you know they're bad for you?
Billie Eilish
red
would be as
crayons
big as
taste
it
the
is.
best.
if
They
it was
taste
just
like
that age.
strawberries.
Oh, God.
I don't know. Billie
What
Eilish would be...
what did you do in primary school that would not be deemed acceptable nowadays?
I hid under a table because they wouldn't let me write in my Mother's Day card that they were making me thingy. So I flipped a table over and hid behind it.
I meant like in.
I feel like you'd do that now.
In like preschool, not like
That was preschool.
What, you were that angry you flipped a fucking table?
Yeah, I hid behind it, and I was like, I'm not coming out until you let me write my card. And damn right, I wrote on that card.
I never used to let anybody except men play families with me because I thought the women were all stupid.
Aw, no,
What?
that's bad.
What, when I'm like 5?
Yeah.
Oh no, girls are icky and they don't understand. Anyway, let me put this egg on my baby.
I agree. Until like year 5, I used to think all girls were weird.
Well,
It was
I
all
was to
5.
grow-
I thought that up until about 18.
Pedo.
I couldn't look a girl in the eye when I was younger because I was afraid that if I looked at a girl, they would
made the
She'd get pregnant.
No. I was scared that they think that I would fancy them. So, and be disgusted by that because, I mean, why wouldn't you be? So, like, yeah. So I couldn't look at anyone in the eye.
Repulsive.
Thank you. I mean, someone literally said that once. You remember someone had in secondary school, someone had a crush on me. And I said, I was like, I didn't want to go out with that person. And then a year later,
They got really hot.
I was on the it was PE, and someone went, "Oh my god, look at him! You used to fancy that." And she went, "Oh no, I can't believe it! Look at him! He's fucking disgusting."
That's so mean.
And I was like, "Oh my god, that's horrible!" And I had very low self-esteem at the time, so that did hurt me at the time. But it's cool now. I was like, "Oh, shots."
Will, what did you do in primary school that was weird?
Okay, so if you know, like, when you'd be sat in class, I'd remember doing this a lot, where all of a sudden, like, the noise level would get really, like, would gradually get higher and higher as all the kids were trying to talk over each other. Like,
Yeah.
when that happened and it got to a certain point, I would just shout, like, really loud to, like, match that level, and just, like, it would just. Did anyone else? I feel like it's
I
really
often
weird.
I often found when that happened, you didn't realise how loud it got until the teacher suddenly shouted, then it got quiet, and you were like,
My God, it was so loud.
so loud.
Yeah, I used to match that level and just shout when it got so loud.
Wait, but why then?
I don't know. I just go,
Like, in what context? Were you, like, joining back in on the conversation or something?
I don't know.
Or because you didn't realise how loud it had gotten? So, like, so, you know, it get louder and louder and louder, and all of a sudden Will would just be like, yeah, the pink Power Ranger was pretty hot.
I don't know. I don't know why I used to do it. I look back now. What the fuck was I doing? Did anyone notice I did that? Because
I'm just imagining Will now just sat, speaking to no one, just analysing the level of the room, and be like, what if I can match this? Ah!
Or like a fucking velociraptor. God damn. Go on, Denver, what you got?
Oh, so is that well done?
No, I'm just saying what you got in terms of primary school.
Oh.
Like, you're a weird guy now, so I assumed you had a lot of weird habits back then.
No, because I was just super Bob basic, really quiet.
Yeah, but you probably weren't. There was probably something you did that you'd be like, yeah, all kids do this. But it probably wasn't.
Ha. So,
Um,
I found
not at all.
some statistics.
Didn't you get a demerit because you kept shouting at people in PE to try and make them trip up?
Oh no, that was Kurt. We were doing long jump, and I just kept shouting, "Kurt!" just before he jumped. And then I remember Mr. Meveringham at the time. Old
name
Mevers.
dropping.
I still
was
see
like-
him now.
It was like, say that again, Dev, that's a demerit. And I thought it was just joking. I did it again, it gave a demerit. And I was so sad. I think in the end, it didn't actually give me it, because I think in the end of that year, I got like the award for having no demerits.
They stopped doing that after you guys left, pretty much.
Got the whole
But-
merit system.
Yeah, I don't even remember getting one.
To be fair, I don't remember getting them in like year 10 and 11. Pretty sure they
Yeah.
stopped them like... Maybe they
I
did
was
like
go-
the first year you were there, but...
Maybe, but like, I just remember being like a knob in the final 2 years and never really getting anything. Like, at one point I got sent out because I just outright refused to cut off a band that was on my arm. and I said that it was part of my religion, and that they couldn't force me.
I feel like you just completely changed as a person when I left school.
Me? Oh yeah. You were holding me back. I turned into just an asshole. When I had no one to talk to on the bus anymore, I was like, well,
guess chaos then.
Chaos is my choice. No, I actually remember that because not to name drop again, but I remember they were like if you don't take this band off, because it was just before an exam, they were like, if you don't take it off, we're going to cut it off. And I said, you come near me with scissors, I'm jumping on them. And then I said, and then you're gonna have an assault charge on your hands. Nothing to do with the band at this point. Now that I've got scissors in my guts. Good job, Mevers. You fucked up. You fucked up, and now you're fired.
I want to know what 21 Pilots were doing on your arm.
What are you talking about? They're not part of my religion.
You had a band on your arm.
No. It was a Yogscast one actually. Yog Labs 2015.
Crazy. I remember one of the bands I got. I think it was the shit one. It was the Kim and Duncan one.
Ah, the worst one. Flux Buddies. Oh.
Flux Buddies.
I loved them. I loved them. They were so good. God, good times, eh?
Found some statistics here just to kind of help
my
point. You're slating me, but
look at
Joe.
Joe.
About demographics.
The main audience,
Look
the
at
demographic
him.
that listen to 21 Pilots is 11 to 18-year-olds, whereas Billie Eilish's main audience is 18 to 26-year-olds.
Man,
where are you seeing this?
Hold up, sorry, I just checked the AC/DC statistics. 100 to 120-year-olds.
Actually, most of the audience is buried.
Shut the fuck up, Will.
Sorry, I was just, but that I don't know why we got onto that, but that is just my point.
I still don't believe that.
It's literally an article. Oh, do you know what?
But I don't believe it either.
Okay, but that was what my point was. I feel like it's more targeted for people that are younger.
It is interesting about the swearing thing, because I never even noticed that until you mentioned it now. None of their songs have swearing in it.
Yeah.
Wait, none of them?
Family friendly.
Wasn't there one of them that did?
It it was called Levels of Fucks.
Face or some shit. Fucking, what was it called? I thought there was one. Maybe not.
None of their top songs, anyway.
You're a top song.
Thank you.
While I don't particularly like their music, and I know I'm going to get slated for saying it again, but we did see them live, and they were actually fucking amazing live.
Oh yeah, they were way better than
like. They were so entertaining, it was unreal. Like the drummer came out into the crowd, literally sat on a platform, got the fans to hold his drum, and he played the drum on top of the fans. And then
I thought that was Royal Blood.
Was this right in front of us as well?
No, it wasn't Royal Blood that did that.
Wasn't Royal Blood the one that got pissy about?
He got pissy about him being out of time.
Yeah. And then
because he kept getting faster, so the crowd just start clapping faster until eventually it just becomes a clap.
He was wankered though. He was just like downing Hennessy whiskey, like out straight from the bottle. And then
what a badass! That's so cool.
The lead singer of 21 Pilots like just climbed up this fucking post like so unbelievably high with no harness or anything, and stood on it. And like it.
I thought we were about
ridiculous.
to watch 21 Pilots die.
They were insanely entertaining. Like, and there's a lot of things about going into like what are those like inflatable balls called?
Balls.
Inflatable balls.
They're the ones that you can like get in.
Oh, morph balls.
Morph balls, is it?
Yeah,
they're well known for like going in them in the crowd and stuff. Like, they didn't do that.
Very like crowd.
They're just very entertaining. Like. And while I don't like this
if it had died there, would they have become 22 pilots because one of them's flying in heaven?
Oh
god, that's so cringe.
You know, being Christians.
But yeah, I will say they were very entertaining. Yeah, worst for me again was No Chances. It was just I found that one very unbearable. And I didn't get the chanting thing really, or I don't know. I just found it horrific. Third for me was Bounce Man, just because it's kind of catchy. Even though, again, very cringe. Second was Saturday, which also had cringy lyrics, but was quite upbeat and noticeably so, with nice melodies. And then First to Me was the best produced song on the album, and probably, well, I don't know, but he was Shy Away. It is just the best on the album, in my opinion. Probably the best lyrics and the actual best production, and he doesn't sound too bad on it. But as a whole, I just found the album just very, wasn't terrible, but just never really reached anything, and I expected more, to be honest. There you go.
Wow.
There wasn't much contrast as well. It was just like, it all sounded very, I feel like it lacked something in every song.
The thing is, though, you say that, but I would argue, I think every time it did throw up that contrast was actually when it got a bit worse.
I'm saying he needs someone else to sing with
But they
him.
never do that, do they?
No.
I know just the guy. I know a fella that's been taking singing lessons.
Yeah,
Let me
it's
tell
a small artist.
you, he'd be perfect for it.
So yeah.
It's me.
It's Denver. Oh.
Ah.
Oh.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
When was their famous
Yeah.
song come out? The
The one famous one.
The Heathens one.
No, Heathens was later. Which
I'm
is the one
looking
that
at-
made them
Stressed
big.
out.
I'm looking at Joe right now, and his legs
2015.
don't make sense. Is anyone else seeing this? There's something wrong with his legs.
What do you mean? How do
they
my
didn't-
legs not make
They didn't
sense?
really take off till their fourth album, did they?
It's like so weird.
Because it looks like they're like
Yeah,
crisscrossed.
my brain doesn't.
Joseph, your really controversial picks.
Hello. I think the best way I could describe my feelings on this album is it felt like I was on a roller coaster and everyone was screaming, but I was just sat there with a straight face not enjoying it.
Well, you're so edgy.
You know? And if someone came up to me and told me this is 21 Pilots' first album, I would believe it. You know? Because it's worse than the rest of their stuff. Nothing stuck out. Nothing grabbed me. You know? It was all kind of just meh. It wasn't bad per se. Per se. But nothing like grabbed me. Nothing really caught my attention. And I will most likely forget this album by tomorrow. It felt like, you know, when I pick those bands that have like 1,000 monthly listeners and we listen to them and we're like, well, that's why, because they're forgettable. That's what this kind of album felt like. It felt like one of those bands that don't really know what they're doing. Like, and these guys do know what they're doing. But I felt like this album didn't really show that, in my opinion. My least favourite was No Chances. Just not a nice sounding song. I'll blitz through this because you know there's not much to say about it other than it was just meh. My third favourite was Never Take It. Never Take It.
Oh,
Take
well,
It.
oh, that bad song.
Good fucking song. I liked. It had like nice little bit of a hook in there.
There's nothing nice about it. He changed up the way he sang it for what I can only describe as much worse.
I tell you what, I did have. You know the weird chanty thing in No Chances. I was listening to this album while doing my delivery driving job, and I had it on quite loud as I was reversing down into this drive, and that song came on,
It's like
and I had my window down, and so going, whoa! I was like, whoa! And this person was waiting for me, and that's all they could hear in my car. They must have thought I was like a member of a Satan cult or something.
I mean, I think the music you actually listen to is probably far worse.
Yeah.
To be fair,
But you probably don't notice because it's so relaxing, you're
good
probably
one.
asleep.
Yeah.
Nice, Denver.
Thank you.
When I feel like the first song on this album, Good Day, is very misleading to what this album actually is. I
It's a
thought,
bad day. It's a bad day.
I thought I was about to walk into like a Mika album when that song came on.
Yeah, I can get that.
Definitely got Mika vibes from it. I was like, oh, this might be okay. Which is why Good Day is actually my second favourite. I really liked the vibe of that song. It made me feel nice.
It's on
Is
that
what I'm
same
gonna
level
say.
as Nice Day by,
Nickelback.
Come on.
what is it? Like,
Not
Bon
Nickelback.
Jovi or
By
something.
Nickelback.
It's not Nickelback. Have a nice day.
He does that.
I don't know. Google it for me while I say my first favourite, which no one's really mentioned.
Stereophonics.
Stereophonic.
Oh no, it is Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi. None of us said that.
I said Bon Jovi.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. Fair enough. I said Nickelback. But no one's mentioned this song yet, and it surprised me because I thought it was easily the best song on the album. It had the best like riff guitar wise. It had like the best chorus, just the best beat, everything. I really liked it. I did actually really like this song. It's formidable.
I fucking knew you were going to say that when you started talking about it.
Yeah. It just had a catchy guitar thing. The beat was just cool. It's a nice vibe. I could chill to this, you know? Oh. Sorry, I'm listening to it right now. That's why I was dancing. So
Just
yeah.
boring, innit?
Sorry, what was that?
Formidable.
Sorry, what was that?
What song was that?
Formidable.
Oh.
My God, I can't even remember how that song goes.
It's the one that goes do 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 bow
No, I mean, normally
one.
you'd expect some to be on the left or the right, but no, there's just 4 middle balls.
Terrible.
That was awful.
What's
That was
wrong with my
awful.
joke? What?
So in conclusion, it was meh. There you go.
It was meh.
It was meh. Big meh.
Well, Denver really loved this album. Best album he's ever heard. 10 out of 10. Faultless.
Faultless. You say that.
Oh no.
I think this is going to be my favourite album of the year.
No, you don't.
Oh, come
I literally
on.
do.
Okay.
No, you are taking the piss.
I'm not even taking the piss.
Oh my God.
No,
Sorry, hello. Is that Rival Summers? Ring, 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 ring.
Like, this album was so weird in terms of, like,
Wait. Can we just go? Are you joking?
no,
He's not joking.
My God.
this scores higher than any album I scored last year.
More than Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah,
More than the Kid Laroi.
yeah.
It's so
I mean,
boring.
hold up. No. This is the way Denver's brain works. He's still in golf mode. The highest is the lowest. He's rating it 0.
No, you can't. Oh,
Like-
no.
In terms of, I listened to this album a lot. Like, I listened to it the first time, didn't think anything of it. Like, the second time, and I just found myself it was so easy listening. But like, there wasn't too many like standout songs in terms of like a song you'd want to listen to on its own. But I really wanted to listen to the whole album. Like, I feel like in my like songs, for example, I almost added the whole album. It's like, oh, I like that one, like that one, like that one, and listening to it, the songs as a collective album was actually better than listening to them just picking out your favourites, to me. So that's why I sort of see it as such a good album, because I can't even ever think of a time where I've listened to an album previously where I preferred to listen to the whole album as against just listening to my favourites from that album. Like, listening to it as a whole piece, to me, was so much better.
It's not about the journey, it's about the destination. But this time it is about the journey.
I always got bored and switched albums for a bit and then went back to it.
Wow, that's not cool.
I think it's the perfect balance of songs being similar enough that they are from the same album and not just a random collection of songs, but different enough that they all had their own thing that made them different. I felt like everything felt sort of quite funk and vibey, was like the general theme across most of the songs. And I put about that, I think Level of Concern would have been a bit off, because I think Level of Concern is better than any of these songs. But I think that would have almost made the album worse because of it, because it dragged everything else down. And like I say, the fact that this is, as a collection of songs, I preferred to listen to it. There was never a point where, this is the bad one that I want to skip. There was always just something I wanted to listen to. Like even when I did my review, I was like, "Fuck, this is." I actually really didn't realize how much I enjoyed this album. And I'd be like, and I've thought this about albums before, and then you get halfway through, and then you realize, oh no, here's like the chod songs. It's not actually that good. But no, it just kept. There was always something that I either found really fun or interesting about the songs.
I think this is the first time I've actually been gripped by a Denver review.
I know, me
Like,
too. Right?
I really like that you do maybe like it, unless you're pulling the old switcheroo.
I'm not, and I think also it probably helps that I had like no expectations going in, and the first like listen to the album, I was kind of like, it's okay. But I just found myself, I finished the album. I'll put it on again. I don't mind it, and I just kept doing it over, and I probably listened to it 10, 15 times.
Fucking hell.
Not easily.
Do you feel that it may sort of pose some resemblance to a 1975 album in terms of sort of like structure
Just like the
and variety?
funkiness, and also the fact that when I looked into it, so because I was kind of curious to how they make the music, considering one of them doesn't basically just sings for the most part, even though he can sort of play guitar, and the other does drums. They basically do it all off it's all like computer mixed. They don't really play. They don't record instruments and then put it in. They just like run it through. They like mix it just from samples and things essentially.
That's pretty cool.
So maybe that's where it's got that similar sort of 1975 albums, because they do a lot of that of just like they'll just find sounds and mix them on. I really enjoyed listening to it as an album, and like I say, I couldn't really think of a time where I've had that before. So then when I was like rating it, I was almost like, how do I rate this? Like an album that's better as an album than its individual collection of songs.
I mean, it's not called individual collection of songs. Right?
Exactly. It's called album review. Even though I think Good Day was a great start. I don't really think Redecorate was that felt like an end song as what we've had more recently. But I just really loved the album.
I'm completely sure.
And like I say, I think I'd struggle to listen to anything. We may have an album that I'll rate high this year, but I mean, from an album that came out in 2021, especially going off how last year turned out, maybe Don Broker's album would go higher, but I don't think I'm gonna like anything more than I've liked this year. My least favorite was Choker, purely because I just
don't like choking.
It's not even that, because you know me, I don't listen to the lyrics. I just didn't like the main chorus hook where it like cuts almost the bit you like about it, Aiden, is the bit I kind of disliked about it.
That's fair.
The way the main chorus, I kind of didn't mind the funky, almost randomness in the verses, but then when it sort of goes to that, it's not even a drop. It's just like I don't know what you call that chorus. But it kind of changed up quite a bit, which I've noticed they did on a few of their songs, where like the chorus had a completely different feel to the verses. So it was never just like the verses were a worse part to the chorus. You know, a lot of songs are just where it's like, the verse is the filler for the chorus hook. I feel like a lot of their songs weren't like that, because often the chorus changed it up quite a bit. So they were very distinctly different parts. Choker was my least favourite. But it could have equally been... It was between Choker and No Chances. But, again, I did quite like No Chances. I wasn't ever sure. Every time I started to listen to No Chances, like, this is the least favourite. But by the end of it, I kind of dig the warrior chanting. And I like the rap bit. Even though Will said it's terrible.
It felt good to murder people in Far Cry New Dawn too. It's my seal of approval.
It's the murder seal of approval.
Yeah, I give that award often.
My third favourite was Formidable. A really nice feeling song to that one, with a funky... I originally put bass line, but it's not a bass. It's just like, I guess, a guitar.
A guitar.
Guitar.
Really like that one.
I play the guitar.
Like, bear in mind, there was 8 songs on this album that I almost liked equally. So to pick a top 3 was just kind of what I felt in that moment. So I almost picked ones that were a bit different from each other. Like, even Mulberry Street, I would have thought originally I wouldn't like that. But I kind of liked the deliberate slowness of that song, and it had saxophone in it. So, no, they wasn't in my top 3, like, but it was a potential third. Second favourite was The Outside. It's more like techno funky, and I really liked the hook where it just goes up and down. Da, da, da. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it.
I'm happy for you.
You like songs with hooks, right? None of these were notable hooks. Do you ever feel there was no like hooks that ever gripped, like ever?
But I think this is because like I said with the verses and the chorus thing, where like often the chorus was so different to the verse. It was like two different. It wasn't just like the verse was the shit waiting for the good hook. And say that, I thought the bit where it goes up and down, whatever the lyric is, I thought that was the hook of that song.
You think?
Well, yeah, that's the bit I mainly remember of that song. Like, a lot of these songs, I would be like, oh yeah, what was that one? I'd play it immediately and be like, it has this moment in it. Or so in a way, I did remember things from all of them, just not off the top of my head.
I mean, I'm happy for you. I'm just very confused.
Also, isn't that song also talking about how kids are stealing his vibes? So, not for kids.
Because the kids are stealing.
That's what he says. He says, the kids are stealing my vibes.
Kids do be stealing. And then my favourite, which was my standout favourite, was Saturday. It's the most upbeat, in my opinion. And are my speakers broken? Because it keeps cutting out. But I love Saturday. Shy Away was good, but I thought Saturday was just way more like party,
the
fun,
closest,
happy song.
I think it was the closest to 1975, that song.
Not Saturday.
Yeah. I think it had a 1975 vibe to it, definitely.
So overall, the only thing that almost stopped this album being perfect probably was that killer track. But like I said, would that have made the rest of the album worse to me? Because I'd have been like, oh, they're all kind of okay, and then there's that one really great one. Like, the fact that they were all such a perfectly like good level, to me, is what made the album so good.
I feel like at this point it depends on what. Or, like you say, normally we do it by just like how much we like one song, and normally one song can drag up an entire album because of it or whatever.
Yeah.
But like in this situation, can you rate it a 10 because you like all the songs equally, or are they all equally on a level of something that you have to rate it?
Yeah, it's one of those, because I feel like we've had albums before where we've been like, oh, they're all at a similar level, but because I feel like they're like every song's a killer track thing just never happens.
Well, yeah,
or very rarely. But I don't know. It's an interesting one. That like I just thought that it was such a weird album for me because I couldn't believe. But then when I was trying to think what I didn't like about it, and I was like, well, I didn't not like anything about it. I liked everything about it. Almost.
Well, it's your call at the end of the day, I suppose.
And so I feel like on that similar, we all did agree to that to some degree that we all said they were all so close in quality.
Yeah.
So obviously, I feel like if you were a fan of it, you'd like all of them. And if you think one of them's meh, you think all of them's meh. Or if you think one of them's bad, they're probably all bad.
That is what that means, yes.
So I'm just explaining English now. But yeah, really loved it. Thought it was great. Really surprised, like, because another one of those, it just reminded me of why I love doing album review for these albums of just not really knowing.
Because of Will Davies facts.
Because of Will Davies facts.
That's why. Well, that's what we're here for. I can read Wikipedia, but I want him to do it for me.
Fantastic.
Woo.
Ratings.
Wow, that's a really wholesome thing to like end it on. And I'm going to rate it at 4.5.
Are you really?
Yeah.
5.
It's a 4.
9.
Hit him with it. Ooh.
So no,
Hit the
originally
wall.
I did put a 10. I was like, I don't think I can put a 10 because I think
There's nothing that you love in here.
No.
I don't feel like as an album, yes, you really like it, but like you say, there's not that spark that takes it to the. You need a song that you're just like, this is the best song.
yeah, and I feel like the few albums I've given, well, I've given 1 10 and then a 9.5. They were like almost all killer tracks. So,
Wow.
but yeah, and going from. I just said my favorite thing of our review is like finding new things that we don't know about. Completely switched it up to an album we all know already.
Oh.
Worried about that.
So maybe this will have the problem of heard it too much. It's shit.
Can't believe we're going back to Rival Summers, boys.
I did have a theme for this, but I can't remember what it was. So we're just going to have to ditch the theme. Unless I completely change my pick now.
Songs named after fruit.
Songs that rhyme with-
Albums or artists with fruit in the name.
I'll just start typing Panic, shall I?
Literally, it's Panic at the Disco, Death of a Bachelor.
Hey, cool. No, I'm happy. I'm happy with this. This is cool.
That's weird. That's kind of weird because the 21 Pilots for me rolls onto Panic at the Disco. Like, if I leave it rolling, yeah, it does.
God, 2016. God, I remember when that album came out. It doesn't feel like that long ago.
We used to listen to this all the time, Joe. Going back to yours,
I know.
Maybe it'll bring back like a house of memories.
Maybe.
Damn, I fucking this is bringing back nostalgia. Yeah,
Man.
boy.
Golden Days. What a song.
What did the album score, by the way, Never? I don't.
Oh yeah, sorry, it was 22.5.
22.5.
It's not great.
Awesome.
But it's the same as the Kooks.
Mm.
Oh no, actually no, it's not. It's the same as Icarus Account, and
Okay.
and the same as.
Wait, why is it the same? I thought Icarus Account were okay.
No, but I gave him a 3.5.
Oh, but didn't Joe give him like a 9 or something?
Joe gave him an 8.5. Will gave him a 4.5.
Damn, they were good. I had a thing on come up on Spotify saying they're my best newfound artist.
I had that as well. And my like emo song is emo band is Shine Down.
Nice. It's not an emo band.
You say that, but sometimes goodbye is a second chance.
And sometimes my eyes are open wide.
What's the next album? Oh no, we've just done that.
For fuck's sake.
Literally doesn't listen. Sorry, what's your favourite song again?
What was your least favourite?
Fuck's sake.
I laughed so hard my chest hurt.
What's your closing thought, Joe?
Did you know that someone paid 10 grand to buy James Franco's non-visible art, which was just a tank of air?